I'm actually really excited today because I'm a Trojan, y'all. So it feels great to be back. And today it's actually really amazing because we have so many of our cast members here. First, I'm very pleased to introduce the lead actor, Brian T. And we've also got some family members, Kelvin Han Yee. Mr. Charles Kim. And then we've also got Joe C. and Enrique Almeida. Julia Cho in the audience. She was a beauty pageant member. And Violet, is Violet still here? Maybe. Oh yeah, there she is. And you also might know her from the K-Town reality show. She's like the hot mama on a motorcycle.
But tell us about casting your two leads.
Well, the first challenge to make the film a reality was trying to find the lead actors. And so, of course, I had to watch Fast and Furious 3 Tokyo Drift because, like, every Asian actor is in that movie. And the minute I saw Brian, I really didn't know what to expect actually going into the film. And the minute I saw Brian, I saw a leading man. And I saw somebody that could actually have the charisma to pull off a romantic leading character. The lead actress, I was a big fan of hers from, she was in two Korean movies called Old Boy and Welcome to Dongmako. And I was just a really big fan of hers. I thought she would be perfect. She kind of had this like fairy-like quality to her. And so actually Brian and I were in Korea and we were able to get a meeting with her management. And
I remember going to Korea and I distinctly remember her really, I believe, like appreciating the script that Christine wrote and wanting to be a part of it. So we had this meeting and she just felt really, really enthused about it and kind of sold herself to us that she wanted to be a part of it, and us the same with her. And she was kind of our first choice to begin with in the sense too, so I think it all just kind of worked out.
So with the naked run through in the airport, was that your idea or Christine's?
That was definitely Christine's idea.
You were disappointed, ladies, right?
No, it was great though. It was like, I think it's a great moment in the film. It's a great moment for the character Jason, and it's kind of a no holds barred for love kind of, do what it takes and do whatever you need to, fall in love and grab your soulmate.
Well, I was thinking for, it's got to be quite a challenge to actually shoot something in an airport. What was that process like for you guys?
We weren't in an airport.
Yeah, exactly.
That was shot
it would
about
be
3 different things.
We actually shot in an airport.
Yeah. We shot in a mall first. We had a few scenes in a mall. That whole TSA thing was shot in the Koreatown City Market in the lobby. That was like a week after it opened or something like that.
They were still
like doing construction.
The mall. So it was like perfect because it was kind of bare and we can kind of tag it with all of our insignias and stuff.
And then we shot the other stuff of like the boarding gate and stuff actually in Korea a year later at a convention center. And then the airplane was a real airplane though. That was a real Korean airplane.
Which was amazing for me because, I've done giant movies and like $100 million and we had like no budget, but yet like in the middle of the night we're walking onto like literally a 747 Korean Air jumbo jet just to shoot like our movie, and I'm just like, What?
Yeah, it was
Really?
Yeah, they grounded a 747 for us to shoot
That's
on. The funny thing is that the scene kept on getting pushed like over the course of a year, and the woman who plays the flight attendant is a real Korean Air flight attendant. And originally we were supposed to shoot the scene in July, didn't end up working out, and she had actually taken off work to one of the flights to actually be in the movie, and then when she found out that we had to push the scene, that we weren't going to be shooting it, then apparently she was really upset and started just crying, because she was like, oh, are you going to let me be in this movie again? And she was really, really upset. But then she was in the movie, you know what I mean? So.
Well, why don't each one of you just tell us a little bit about how you got involved in making the movie? Yeah.
I auditioned for our casting director, Jory Whites, and it was a taped audition, and I guess Christine saw me on tape. It was funny there. I think there was buzz about the film at the time, and I was doing sketch comedy with Mr. Charles Kim over there, and you know, there's just talk amongst the Asian American actor community, I think, about this Korean American movie that was casting. So yeah, I kind of went the straight and narrow path, I guess, and auditioned for Christine via taped audition.
I guess I use this one. Well, I came in due to Enrique and got introduced to Christine. And sorry about that. Well, I came in due to Enrique. He offered me to tag along basically and get this scene going. And Christine seen me, and at the time I was bald.
But he had a really cool hat on.
Yeah, my beanie, and you know, we did a few scenes, a few takes, and it came to a point where I actually tried to figure out how to open the car, and the car had no door handles to the inside. So Christine's like, you know what, try something. I was like, all right, fine. So what I did was like jumped off the car and literally fell. I fell, so we tried to use that on the scene, but turned out it got cut off, which would have been pretty cool.
To make you look smooth.
And I mean, it was a pretty amazing experience.
I auditioned, just like the other actors here, and actually I called up and they said, hey, they want you to do this Korean film, and I was like, really? Okay, I'll come down, and I got the script and I read it, and I was really blown away because I don't usually get an opportunity to do anything other than like holding somebody up on CSI. So it was really a cool experience. What I really liked was that Christine really let me do the role the way I wanted and the way I really thought would really lend itself to the comedy. So that's when I brought Josie, and I was like, look, Josie, you're like my tag along, man. We got to do this scene. So let's do it. What's up? And we came down, and it was a great experience. And thank you very much.
Can I just say that it was probably one of the funniest scenes in the whole entire movie, and I just want to give kudos to Christine for keeping it in the movie, and for these guys to totally pull off what they did, because we were literally fighting to cut the scene out.
They wanted me to cut that scene.
Literally, like, all the producers were like, listen, Christine, it just doesn't work, all this other stuff, trying to justify, yada, 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 and Christine's like, no, it'll kill. I'm keeping it. Blah, 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 I'm keeping it. And we're like, whatever, your movie.
But the whole thing is actually, originally there were supposed to be 3 speaking roles in that scene for the guys, but we could actually only afford 1 speaking part. So the other guys just end up having to like mime or something, you know. And then...
Hi, I'm Nancy Lee. So you did say that I played the Ajima, right?
Yeah.
The lipstick.
Can you believe that?
This is my costume. The other one's my date outfit. So it was in 2008 that they were casting this. That year I had been back from San Francisco. I was going back and forth because I missed my family. And that year I didn't audition at all. I didn't have an agent. I wasn't even sure if I wanted to be an actor anymore. So my friend, she told me to just crash the audition, just bring your tape, because she knew I did this ajima. Like the ajima means like, I don't know, auntie, I guess, right, older woman. I was only doing stand-up comedy that year, so of course I was really depressed. Yeah, it was fun, and so I was like, fine. My friend really pushed me to go crash the audition. So I bring in my tape, and I don't want to bother anybody. You know, you don't want to be one of those obnoxious actors that are like, oh, I don't have an appointment or whatever, you know. So I was just gonna drop my tape, and then the receptionist was really nice for some reason, and she was like, oh, why don't you go talk to the casting director, Jory Weiss? And I was like, okay, whatever. So I had such a bad, stinky attitude because I wanted to quit life and acting. And then I go into the office, he's super nice. He's like, well, I'm so sorry, you're so charming, but we really don't have a part for you. Maybe one of the pageant girls, possibly. And I was like, that's okay. You know, I don't even have an audition. Here's my tape. If there's anything for me, great. If not, it's really okay. I'm okay. He's like, okay, well, take this with you, see, you know, if you like any of the parts. And then I'm about to go. But I was like fiddling with my purse, I guess. I was looking for the parking ticket or whatever, the thing. And then out walks Christine from her office. And I look at her and I'm like, oh my God, Christine Yoo? We had met several years before. She had seen me play this Ajima character. And I was like, Christine, what are you doing here? That's seriously my attitude. I was looking at her like, why are you here? She's like, it's my movie. I was like, what? Shut the front door, right? I was like, oh, how are you doing? So good to see her. She's like, hold on a second. And she just disappears for like 5 minutes. And I'm like, what's going on? She, I guess, had a talk with Jory. She comes out and she's like, you're in the movie. And I was like, am I dreaming? Is this how Hollywood works? I have no audition, I want to quit acting, and then I'm in the movie, right? And then I hear that Brian T's in it, Bobby Lee, and Margaret Cho, and I was just like, this is not happening, I was going to quit acting. So, thank God I crashed the audition, right? It was my
Thank God I had to go to the bathroom.
Right? If she didn't come out in that moment, I just would have walked out the door, and I'd be like, whatever, Hollywood.
And what was great about this audition was Jory just said, you know, be, you know, a Korean, you know, uncle, be an older Korean man, and I just got to purge all my childhood demons, almost all of them. You know what I'm talking about. If you grew up in an immigrant household, you know. Thank you. And I think that's part of the universal appeal of this movie, because it's not just a Korean film, but it's like if you go deep enough, there's this universality to it. So, anyways, gotta thank you, Christine.
I took like one look. I mean, I think it was just like the first minute of tape of his audition, which was hilarious because he had those big glasses on.
Oh, yes, the glasses.
I was like, he's in this movie. He was just hilarious.
Those are actually my glasses, and I have to thank my mom for this, because she forced me to get these glasses like way back when I was going glasses shopping. And she picked like what I thought to be the ugliest pair of glasses. Back then, guys weren't rocking these kind of glasses. They were like the what was it, like the Malcolm X type, you know, with the tortoise on top, with the metal rim on the bottom. You know, it was a different look back then. And my mom was like, no, you're gonna get these clunky, chunky, looking like, you know, a piece of a dashboard looking pair of glasses. And I said, why must I wear these? And she said, because you have a humongous head. And these other normal people glasses is gonna look like tiny on your big, huge computer monitor, galactic sized head. And these are the only glasses that are going to give your face some halfway balance. So, true story. So, I wore these glasses, and instead of tossing them after, you know, after a few years, I hung on to them because I knew it would serve some sort of a purpose.
I feel this is a very moving story, how we met. Because basically, I got drunk at a party and I met you. Right? Isn't that how? That's how I got into this film. I'm not kidding you. I've been doing this for.
Where you went into
I went to meet Jory afterwards,
I
but
remember you telling me this story.
right, but
Well-
we met each other at the Beverly Hills Film Festival or
Yeah.
the Hollywood Film Festival.
Yeah.
So I forgot where
Yeah.
because I was drunk. No, but I knew Brian T from before.
Right.
Well, you
We
guys
were in Crash together.
We were in Crash together in on the television series, not the movie. And basically, my career is basically attached to Brian T's career. For years,
Yes,
for a
it
few
has
years
been.
now,
It
it's
really
been that way
has.
because I've played your father,
Yes.
your uncle,
My Yakuza boss.
your Yakuza boss.
Right.
I've played your prison daddy. No, that's not.
That was an independent
I'm sorry.
movie that never was released ever. Christine tells me the story that, like, I was like, so how was Kelvin? Because I mean, I probably whispered in Christine's ear, like, you got to see this guy and all this other stuff. And she said this, and this is what I remember. She said, he didn't really audition. He kind of just came in there and, like, talked about how he was already cast. Sounds like Kelvin. So, yeah.
And the role was originally called Wheeler Dealer Uncle.
Right.
So he
Well,
he
pretty
wheeled
much
and
did it.
dealed your way into the movie. And I'm so glad he did.
Like Christine, I guess, said earlier, we actually met years before this. Christine was doing a writing project, and correct me if I'm wrong, and we had a mutual friend, and he said, well, I have this friend that you should meet because she had a particular character about an Asian American actor trying to make it, a young Asian American actor, and at the time I was a young Asian American trying to make it. So we literally had lunch, you know, kind of bonded there and all this other stuff, and kind of kept in touch off and on. And then in 2007, after the whole Fast, Furious, and all this other stuff, I get an email and a call from Christine saying that I have this new project. I'd love for you to take a read of this script, and you know, if you like it, let me know, and I'd love to collaborate and kind of, you know, take it forward. And I was like, awesome. So I'm like reading the script, and like I get to page 10, and I just did Fast, mind you. So I play this like hard, badass kind of guy, and I'm like, oh, it's a comedy. And it's funny. And I'm like, awesome. You know, because for me, I'm trying to break that kind of mold and do other things and all this other stuff. So I kept reading it and kept reading it, and I distinctly remember my grandmother, who was downstairs and I was upstairs, mind you, asking me what's the matter, because I was laughing so loud. And she was like, is there something wrong? And I said, no, because for the first time in a long time, I was actually reading a script, and for a script to actually move you enough to make you laugh out loud with no one in the room, it distinctly just kind of hits you and says, look, this is gold, and I don't want to be a part of it. So, you know, I got finished with the script and called Christine, and I said, let's do it. And the rest is kind of history.
Hi, I'm Violet. I have much more of a simpler story. I was just getting into acting, and one of my friends, Grace Sue, was part of the crew, and they needed extra background people. So I came to help, and one thing led to another, and I had a speaking role the next day. So it kind of worked out to my benefit, and I was fortunate enough to be a part of this film. So thank you very much, and I take this time to thank all of you for allowing me to be a part of this. Thank you.